Mic check, mic check. Sorry, I tried to stream earlier, but I was having issues with my mic. So hopefully it is working now, and we could go ahead and get it going. It sounds like it's going pretty good, so we could go ahead and get this stuff started. All right, so last time we left off, we were doing some rendering. Now, I didn't render all these big ones here and stuff. I was going to figure out how we could get the normal map off the stream. Now, there's a few ways that I used to do it. Now, we could convert the particles to curves, and then, or I'm sorry, we could convert them to a mesh, and then we can convert that into curves, and then we could go from there um, to render some things out. Now, in some cases, that may still be the better way to go. I was doing some more research to see how people went ahead and they were rendering out their normal maps. So I was watching. I forget his name now, but it's a fairly recent tutorial at how he was using the mat caps to go ahead and render out some normal maps, which is fine. But in my case, I couldn't figure out how to get his method working, probably because I didn't maybe watch the whole video or whatever. So I got that saved down there right now. I'm going to do some more research into that. But I was trying to figure out how to make it as easy as possible this time. So down here for the normal map, we got a texture coordinate node, and it's the normal. You go into a vector transform node, clicked on the normal, into the vectors. So we're going to take the space from the object and convert it to the camera, right? So the object space is going to be converted to our camera space. Then we got the mapping, texture mapping node. Got it 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, and the scale 2 by 2. So basically what we're doing, basically what this is sort of, is we're making our own mat cap, right? Instead of using Blender's internal normal mat cap, which that's what this method down here was that the other people were doing. But like I said, I need to do more research on that. I couldn't really get it to work right. So I'll have to look more into that. There's probably something that I missed. But right here, this is mainly just a mat cap. And so we have just a normal image from a mat cap. You could search on Google normal mat cap image or whatever, and this will pop up here. I could upload this one to, like, say, my Google Drive or something, and I could add a link down below, and you guys could get that if you don't want to do the searching. I just haven't done that yet. I didn't think that far ahead, so I apologize. But with a simple Google search, you could find this as well. So that's what we're doing. So basically, we made a mat cap, a normal mat cap, right? So, and then we're in cycles still. So now we could do this one or two ways. We could do this with the camera in the ortho mode, right? So you click on your camera and you go down to camera settings, and we can put this into the ortho mode, right? And we can render out this in ortho. So the ones that I rendered out, though, I rendered out in perspective because this is my bad again. I wasn't paying attention, and I forgot that I had changed this over here, so I rendered it out in perspective. But ortho is just more cleaner in my opinion. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just roll with it for now. So let me go ahead and open up the images and show you what I got rendered out here. Give me just a second. Let me open this up. So we go to documents. I don't need to tell you guys where my files are at. Let me just pull it up here. Where did I save it at? Right here. So this is the normal that I rendered out. And like I said, I should have rendered this normal out in ortho mode because we got some issues right here. We could fix that up. But for right now, this is going to be doing this is going to do good enough for what we need. Um, so I haven't checked too far into this normal to see exactly how good this normal map is. I think that I may need to just make a video on the other way, the old way that I used to do, just to crunch down the time instead of doing it live. Because if we did it live, I don't know, it would take me probably a few hours and stuff like that. But I don't know. You guys let me know. I noticed there's been a little bit of interest in this, so there's been like 80, 90 views or whatever on the last video. So some people are viewing. I haven't checked out the data on it and seeing if they're actually staying into it or not. But I appreciate the viewership for people. And like I said, I've just been live streaming here lately too because you know, my regular 9 to 5 job and stuff like that. It's been super hectic for me, so I haven't really had a time to sit down and write out a tutorial and things of that nature. But when I do have more times and tutorials do come back, they are going to start being scripted as well. I didn't want to do that in the past because I felt like it just seemed too animated or too mechanical, if you will. I've always liked being real and stuff like that. But there's more people that complain about the time and stuff than anything. So I think I need to start scripting my tutorials out and making them shorter and just concise and straight to the point. Because I think a lot of people that watch tutorials and things of that nature, they're the people that's working on a project and they're wanting to get things done and they don't have time to sit there and watch a 20 or 30 minute video. Now a lot of my longer videos and stuff too, I was also doing it as well because I wanted to you know, be more beginner friendly. So I wanted to show if I made mistakes or whatever, how you'd fix them, this, that, and the other. But not a lot of people like that. So anyways, so we got a base head here, and I'm going to go ahead and Shift A, and I'm going to add a plane. And I think I need to scale this head model up by the looks of it. Let's see here. I want the origin, so oops. If I could press the right buttons. This still ain't the right buttons. There we go. I want the origin. Let me go back in the edit mode here. And I'm going to click this vertice and this vertice. And then we're going to go to origin to selection. There we go. And then I'm going to scale this head up some. Because I didn't realize it was so small. And actually, maybe that plane's just big. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a hair card. Now, when it comes to hair cards, I haven't figured out a perfect workflow for this myself. Now, you could do curves. That's one way to do it, is to make your hair cards. Or you could just model hair cards out like I'm going to do here. Uh-oh. Let me make sure that you guys are seeing the buttons that I'm pressing. Alrighty. So we're just going to go into a top view here, and I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to scale along the scale along the y-axis. And to tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure why this plane is so big, but that'll be fine for now. So I'm just going to do a simple unwrap here. And let me make sure, okay, that's fine. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bring in a, oops, I didn't want to make an image. We'll bring in a new image. And we'll just bring in this image for now because it's one that I have a normal map for. And don't worry, we are going to get into me showing you how to put these on a texture sheet as well. So, but I do got to say, it does feel good to come back and be doing 3D and stuff again with everybody. And let's add a material, new material, and let's make it, let's do an alpha blend, and then let's come back over to shading, and let's hook our image up, shift A, input, or sorry, texture, image texture. Now the other day when I was streaming, somebody was saying, well, you shouldn't be adding transparency and stuff. Well, to a black and white, basically the black and white image is a mask, right? So, and it turns black and white here, as you can tell, because I haven't hooked the transparency up. So this black and white image right here is a mask. So in order to view this with transparency inside of Blender, we need to add a transparent shader, right? And then in the shader settings, we need to come down here in the blend mode, and we need to do either alpha blend, alpha hash, or alpha clipped, right? And then we could also do that for the shadows. So I'm just adding transparency to this so we could view this inside of Blender's viewport, right? Okay, so we're going to add a shader, a mix shader, maybe. Okay, there we go. We're going to shift A, and we are going to add a transparent shader, right? And we're going to put the transparent up top, and then I'm going to make this a non-color image, and we'll just put the color inside of the vector here, and bam, we should have transparency, which we do. So that's nice. And like I said, we don't have to use this for the color. I'm just using this for the color right now. So we could just do it like that, right? And then we could change the color to whatever we want, really. And we should go ahead here too also, and we will shift D this, and we will add the normal map. And it's this one, and we'll open that, make sure it's non-color, shift A, and we will add a vector normal map, and we'll connect color to color, and then the normal to normal. Let me zoom in here, and since I ain't test this normal, there we go. Now we got some beautiful hairs. The beautiful hairs. So basically what we were doing before is we were making the mask, right? So we could get some transparency in our hair cards. And then we came out and we baked the normal map, which looks really good. Turned out really nice, I think. I mean, I didn't bake this. I rendered this, right? So I didn't render this with that many samples. So when you want to go and do your final render, you should render this out with some more samples. so you don't get so many jagged edges. But for right now, tutorial purposes and stuff, this will work. All right, so we'll go back out to the layout here. And like I said, if we come here, you'll see that everything's all good. But let's go back into UV editing. And let's go ahead, let's rotate this guy by 180 degrees. There we go. Just like that. And let's go, it's on vertex select mode. Let's maybe grab these verts here. And let's maybe make that more of a flat edge up there. Now, so that's another thing that we didn't do. So I didn't talk about that because I didn't think I was going to go that far in these tutorials, which we will do that here in just a minute. I just want to set this up just a little bit. We should have changed some of the shape of the top particles up here so it would blend more in. Now this is a stylistic preference as well. So anyways, it's up to you, but this is just fine right here. And so we got some pointy hair inside of Eevee. Pretty. All right, so we can scale this down. Well, actually, let's leave it right there for now, and then we're going to shift-E this along the X, and we are going to come over here, and we're going to add a new material to this. So we'll just make this own material. And we'll come back over here to UV editing, and we will just change out the image. And I'm going to add the flyaways here, which I didn't do a very good job on these. And then we'll just go ahead and select the island here, GX. And just kind of move this over just a little bit. So the UVs, then we got to change the image inside of the shading. So let's go ahead and change it over to the little flyaway texture. And let's go ahead and open up the flyaway normal map. Open the image. And there we go. Looks pretty nice. Pretty nice. So let me go to the front view. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I mean that's all you really need to do to make some hair cards in here, but we're gonna go a little bit further than that. I'm not gonna hang up the towel now. So we could go ahead and let's put Control R. Let's put a loop cut in the middle, and then let's put some loop cuts down the center of this guy. I mean, you could do this however you'd like. So let me turn on proportional editing. So I've been waiting for the final release of Blender 2.8 before I make my my quick menus and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. So the pie menus that I am using, pie, that I used to use all the time, they no longer work anymore. So I'm just gonna turn on all the official pie menus. Gizmo, this. Alrighty. And it's not tab, what is it? Shift tab? Control tab? Control tab is that. Alright, tab. Okay. Control tab is tab, control tab. Oops. Alrighty, so this is live, and I do apologize. What am I doing here? See, now you guys see me struggle. Now I need to remember what the shortcuts are on these guys. View manipulator is control space, tab. 3D pivot menu is the period key, Z key, and Q key. Okay, and I think there was something in here that I changed the other day that I made it where control tab, pie menu on drag. Activate some pie menus on drag, allowing the tapping the same key to tapping tab, 3D view, toggles, edit mode, drag, or mode, tapping Z. I don't know. I believe there was something that I changed in here somewheres. But I don't remember. Maybe I changed. Maybe I didn't open on mouse. No, that was annoying. Viewport. Not right here. Well, I don't know. It might have been this key map on click tab for pie menu. Yeah, let's see. Tab. Tab. Oh my gosh. Z. See? Down being a noob again, guys. But let's say QZ and period key. Okay. Actually, I don't think that I like that control. So I think I got Alt Q. So I got somebody else's add-on. So let's turn this control space off because I like being able to go into full screen mode with control space. There we go. All right. So why don't you want to select nothing? Press O to turn on proportional editing. Maybe, maybe not. Why is it not working? Okay. So we'll give this a little bit of depth. I mean, we could also add the, what did I just do? Okay, so using control, you can switch between, what? Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, Control 1. Okay. So that changes. But I don't like that. Wait. I want my modifier. Thank you very much. Alright. Now all this stuff's backwards for me. Anyways, so now we rounded that guy out there a little bit. let's go ahead and select one of these middle edges, press G. You could give a little bit of shape to your hair. What is this Control Z stuff? Come on now. G on the Z, and then let's raise this guy up a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to select this outer edge and this outer edge. I'm going to press GZ. I'm just going to make that a little bit sharper. And what was it? Shift Z, wireframe, Alt Z? No. Control Alt Z, Control Shift Z. All right. So we're getting all kinds of different stuff going on here. Wonderful version of live. I do apologize about this. Let's go into the key map and let's search overlay. Over. No. So it's a toggle. Quad view. Control Alt Q, Control Space, Control Alt Space bar. Outliner. A, Alt A, Control I, Double A, Shift A. Keying in, that's for that. O and Alt O. Toggle X-ray. Oh, Alt Z. Context toggle. Control. Shift. Control. Tilde key. Is that the one that I'm looking for? Well, that's for those. Shift Alt Z. Alt Z. Let's see. Is it Shift Alt? Shift Alt Z. There we go. Okay, Shift Alt Z. I apologize. What we got going down there? Are we still on the site? No, we're in EV. Okay. So that now that does look like some really nice hair, in my opinion. I mean, this was this was made pretty quickly, but you get a lot of coverage in this hair. So I'm gonna go back and see. We do alpha blend, alpha hashed. There we go. That's more of what we wanted. So with alpha blend, it's blending between opaque. It's kind of looks like 50-50 to me. Um, change the shadows. Let's see what's alpha clip look like. So they got the clip threshold here we could change to. That also looks like it's working too. A little bit better than alpha hashed. I mean, alpha blend. So I don't know. We could stick to either clipped or hashed for this. And for right now, since it's interesting. Since it's looking okay right now, we'll leave it on hashed. Or wait, I'm sorry, clip or hashed. Clipped. Okay. So now we could also go in and we could bake out all kinds of different maps. There was another program that I was going to show you guys here in just a little bit. But for right now, this looks okay. And then we got a couple strands of flyaways here that we could probably do alpha hashed. No, let's do clipped. Alpha clipped. Maybe? Maybe not. Let's just leave it on blend right now. That'll be fine. That are looking good. So this one is a lot of hair strands, right? So we could come back and let's go back into look dev mode here. And was it Shift Alt Z? There we go. And let's go ahead and let's save this guy here. Save as female hair cards. That'll work. Let's save this setup here. And let's go back over here. And so let's see, we got. I could go ahead and probably make this a group for y'all. A no group, and maybe give away this file if you guys want to play with it. And I guess while we're playing with the hair cards, I could go ahead and I need to not do that. I want to come over here and render out one of these, maybe. Let's see which one. Go back to 0 on this guy, and let's go back into perspective here. And I'm going to grab this camera G and move it along the x-axis. And see, maybe let's go ahead and render this one back out. And go back into ortho. Maybe shift this guy up a little bit here. Just want to get these hairs in here. Alrighty. So we'll click on this one and we will go ahead and I got Node Wrangler turned on, so Control Shift left click, and we will go ahead and render this guy out here. Again, this one should render out pretty quickly. So, and another thing on doing this with a bunch of different ones, I would either make a camera for each one of these so you could come back and redo this if you need to re-render stuff out and stuff like that. I would probably make a camera for each one of these for the renders and then put them in their own collection. But just for tutorial's sake or whatever, I'm just gonna do this like this. So every time I move this camera, and if I need to come back and render some other things out, then we're kind of not in a good position to do that because everything's going to change. So, and I think I'm going to go ahead and render this guy out. I like the look of this hair here. This one looks pretty good, actually. So, okay. So, we just got the principal shader, if you haven't watched this from before. The base color, which is white. And then we got the emission white and turned all the way up. So, let's go ahead and we will file, save as. I'm going to go ahead and make this a copy. So we'll just press F12 and we'll zoom out here. Oops, too far. And I thought cycles was supposed to be faster this since Blender 2.8, but I don't really much notice any difference. To me, it seems like it's a little bit slower. You guys let me know what you guys think. I don't know. I think it's a little bit slower. So update the scene here. There it goes. All right. So while that's rendering out here, we're going to go ahead and move over here, and I will show you the curves method. So we're going to Shift A, and we're going to add a curve, and we do a path, or we'll do a Bezier curve, and move it over here. And we will tab into edit mode. Actually, we just keep it in object mode. And for the shape right here, we'll just go to the curve settings here. and the fill mode is full, we will go to the extrude, and we will extrude this guy out here, and we will rotate it along the X, let's see, 90 degrees to get it flat. And so working with curves is kind of cool too. You could highlight all of them, and then okay, right click, and then you could subdivide these guys, and we get more control points. We could, you know, have more control over what we're doing. And you click one of these points, and if you need to rotate it or wherever, you press Control T to tilt it. And if you need to scale it, you press Alt S, and we can taper the bottom here. Alt S this one, taper it some. Let's kind of give it a natural kind of look and feel. And you could also control how many resolutions you have, all that, and then you could also press okay. Interesting. Something else I need to look up. Oh man. Why do I not read? Well, they're all changed, so. What? 3D view. Curve context menu is right mouse click. Okay. We figured that one out. Well, we'll just do this. Man, I feel like such a noob, guys. I think I need to change my shortcuts back to the 279 shortcuts. Because this is taking too long. F3. Oh wait, no, it's object convert to, and then we can convert this curve to a mesh, or a mesh from a curve, right? So we could convert this to a mesh after we get done with this. So curves you have more control over than just regular hair cards, and so a lot of people I think go the curve route anyways. So in my personal opinion, curves would probably be easier, but we're not going to render out any of that stuff. You could add shape keys to these guys, like the spline resolution, all that good stuff, right? So, and then we could extrude it. You could even Add a little offset to it. You could add another curve for a taper object to taper these guys. Alrighty here. Match texture space, use for UV mapping, blah blah blah. So that's what we do for a curve. Let me see. This guy literally still rendering. The normal map goes faster, so. And we could go ahead and grab our curve. And just drag it over the head. And just place these guys anywhere we want into the head. You smooth it out, twist minimum. You could bevel it out if you'd like. Some people do this with the bevel, but I don't want to do that. And then you just go into edit mode and work from there, and just kind of just rotate it how you want to. Bring this guy here. The extrusion's not wide enough for you. You can make it wider to cover more area. And you just go from there, and you just shape it around the head how you want to. You could also click in between and subdivide it. You have a little bit more control. With the placement of your cards. Like I said, you could scale this. And this is kind of hard to see. So let's go back over here for our mat caps. We just press Alt S, scale it some. In between here, Alt S. Scale this guy a little bit. And just go on from there, and then start deleting these guys, or duplicating these guys. And getting what you want. So go ahead and place that a little bit closer to the head. And like I said, you can press Control T and use that for the tilts. You could also extrude these guys if you'd like. Oops. Want the Y, sorry. Just kind of now this process here does take a little bit of time. To get just right. Not too sure why that handle was so far out there, but so here we're going to press Control T. We're going to change the tilt a little bit. So rotate this a little bit. So this is also just the first pass of hair. So You have to be thinking of layering your hair. Now, I'm also not looking at any reference, so I do suggest that you look at reference um, images. When you're doing this. So right now we're just trying to lay out the base shape here. And just kind of try to fill in some of the gaps here. So what you want to do is you want to go on one layer here, and then one layer for the bangs, and so on and so forth. And then you might want to go through and do a second pass to give the hair volume. We could also take and we could shifty this. And what we should have done was, I'm going to select here. What was it? Oops. This. And not remember. So I'm just going to set the 3D cursor. What is going on here? Oops. what was it, F3? Snap the cursor there. Then we'll go and we'll set the origin to active. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Origin to 3D cursor. What? You gotta be kidding me. All right. There we go. So we'll rotate this on the Z axis here. Tab in the edit mode. And I do apologize for taking all the time with the shortcuts. But I was using pie menus for a long time. Well, I'm still using them, but I was using a certain set of pie menus, and I got used to them. And then Blender goes and changes a lot of shortcuts around again. So I need to learn a lot of them again. Learn what the new stuff is. So like I said, I apologize. Just bear with me. So what do I feel like? This needs to be moved. Let's change the tilt on this a little bit. And we could scale this some. Just to cover a little bit more of an area in the back of the head. I still feel like this is off a little bit for some reason. Then we could shifty this guy. Move it over a little bit. Tilt to the shift a little bit. Grab this. And we can just start shaping this how we'd like. Trying to avoid so much clipping. Because when it renders out, you don't want to see a bunch of this clipping here, so. Let's move this one under a little bit. Still clipping. Oh, we're clipping the head a little bit here. So I wish that there was, let's see, we should add in the U direction. All right. We don't want that. Full form stretch. I need a bevel. I need path animations. You got linear. That should work for right now. That was just to prove a purpose. Where you at? Alright, that should work. So maybe I rendered the wrong one out. It's fine. Which one? Five, save as image. And then let's come back over to this. Why does it seem like I don't know. So let's go ahead and connect our normal up, and let's go ahead and render this guy out. This normal should go pretty quick. And once it gets to doing its ordeal over here, it might be a little bit slower because I'm streaming as well. So that it builds all its BVH. Let's see. 100. Packing them. Packing. All right, there we go. This one should be rendering out pretty quick. So we'll come back over here and we'll go back into the object mode. And then we'll just convert it to a mesh. Oops. And we will over to UV editing. And we will location, rotation, and scale. Where's it at? Rotation. So we'll clear. Oops, I don't want to do that. Or is it in the right click menu? Oh, the set origin is. Oh, there it is. Clear. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I was pressing that. It's not working. Why is it not working? Object. Fly. Rotation and scale. Gosh. But it's not working for some reason. I was pressing Control A. So we'll go ahead and you will unwrap this. And we will rotate it 180. We're going to turn off proportional editing. Oops. What are you doing? Fa. Alrighty, and I want this image, and we'll scale it along the X, and we'll grab it over here, scale along the X, scale along the Y. And we will add this shader to it. See what we got going here. Oops. There we go. Let's go on the shading here. And let's turn the roughness up a little bit. I'm gonna shift Alt Z. There we go. Now that I look at it, there we go. It's a little bit better. The clipping is pretty bad. So now this might not be the right one for this hair card over here. Let's see if this one rendered out. Go ahead and save this as 5. Or actually, we'll just click this and it'll change it for us. And we'll save the image. So we could come back over here into shading over here. And we could add the new image if we'd like. And then let's add the normal map. And first off, we need to change the UVs. This one. Alright, so let's click back on this one and we will have to change the UVs for this as well. So So the alpha clip just looks very much like trash. Oops. Oh, that's interesting. So you just have to go through here and play with these settings. That's not what I wanted. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to this one. Go back to the normal. And we'll go back to the UV editing. And oh wait, no, we were using had or clipped on this one. It's like point what 497, I believe, something like that. That last hair didn't work out really well. Um, it would need to be played with more and stuff like that. But this hair right here will work just fine for what we need. And so we could Control A or convert to mesh. There we go. And then let's try Control A. It's not working. What it says the shortcut is. So what was that? Object, apply, Control A. That's what I was playing. So we'll just do rotation and scale, and then we'll go back into UV editing over here. We'll press A, and we will unwrap, and we will have to do the same thing that I did before. Scale X0, scale X0, make it square. Scale Y0. And scale Y0. Click on faces. And follow active quads. Say scale it along the X. And we need to assign the material to it. Scale along the X a little bit more. All right, now we need to come back over here. Turn back on proportional editing. And just kind of shape the hair. This process, like I said, could take quite a bit of time. To get what you want. And to get it how you want it. So, and then we'd keep going and going and then just adding layers to for volume, right? And you should also come in on your model and you should come in and go around and make a hair base as well. Why does it feel like there is two? What is that? There we go. You go in and you cut out your hair base and things of that nature and make a hair base texture to help hide some of this stuff. But like I said, you just fill in, and then come through and build up volume, behind. And it's just a painstakingly long process for hair. Uh, there's been some procedural methods out there and stuff like that that I don't know. They look cool, but I don't know. Do random. Anyways. So I am going to, because I'm tired of just going to turn that down a little bit. That way we can see how the opacity is working. So, and the more layers you build up, you could switch from alpha clipped to alpha blend or something like that, or alpha hashed, whichever one works better for you. Um, Inside of Blender, but the more layers you get on top of the other layers, just know that the less of the scalp you're gonna be able to see. So some of those other blend modes will work. I'm not gonna sit here and do a whole head of hair. Um, the whole point of this was because somebody asked me how you would go about making a hair texture inside of Blender. So, like I said, that's how I would go about it. Pretty much, I would make some particle systems and some hairs, and probably spend more time um, with this stuff. And we can take this matte cap off and just go into, I don't know if they're, what would make a good hair matte cap? Leather? I feel, what do I have on? I feel like something is off here. Interesting. Maybe that's not a good matte cap to use. Probably not either. Hmm. Not sure why. Oh well. So on look dev mode, this is what that this matte cap texture is doing. It's being extra hard on my PC because I'm streaming. So on these little flyaways, what I would do, they're a little bit too close together, but I would do like some small strands. That's, you know what I mean, coming out and wrapping around or whatever, and use textures like these. Oops. All right, there. Switch back. Thank you. I'm just trying to find a better matte cap than the default gray for you guys to see. That's a matte cap I made. And this neon pink, I think, is one I made. I don't remember. Anyways. So it's a whole lot of hair there. Should have rendered out this one too. That one's pretty cool. So I hope this helps some of you guys on who wants to make textures. Now I know this hair texture right here looks a little bit wet. I mean, we could change that. We could even make it more by turning down the roughness, but all right, lighting. Why are you being so bright here? Oh, it's because it's specularity. So we could turn the specularity down a little bit. And now we're seeing how the shadows are looking. So why do I feel like do I not have a light? Yeah, I do. Right here. Turn into a sun. It is way too strong. Where is the light? There it is. Brighten it up a little bit. Like I said, we could try hashed. I think for this one, just for right now, I think clip is the best way to go. You need to play with the clip settings. Let's go back into shading over here. Maybe let's turn the specularity back up to 0.5. We can make this guy really rough, or I mean really wet looking. We'll just turn the roughness up just a little bit, just so it ain't so wet looking. And there we go. And then you just have to come through here and just play with it. And I do suggest when you do render out your stuff to render out with more samples. So we'll do one more here. And we are going to convert this to a mesh. And then we're going to go and we are going to apply, which is not working, the rotation and scale. And we'll go into UV edit mode and select everything, press U, unwrap it. And then we will change back to vertex mode, scale X, Turn off proportional editing, scale X 0, scale X 0. Come up here, scale Y 0. Over here, scale Y 0. And then we will go back to face select mode. And we will follow active quads. Press A to select everything, scale it along the X. Move it GX. Just like that, and let's go ahead and add the material to it. And let's go back into our layout mode. Turn back on proportional editing. Just move this a little bit. Oops. I'll press G here. Just move that so it's not clipping. Now, of course, we'll need to just the elephant in the room. We'll go so, and this also may need a let's see, let's go G, move that down. You just have to kind of play with it, get what you want and the look that you want. That hair still looks super wet to me, but this is in look dead mode, so go on the rendered mode and see what it looks like. So, like I said, you could tell that these are laid out here, but like I said, you need to add more layers to this, right, to build up volume and stuff. So, this is just a demonstration. And if you do think that the normal map is too strong, you could also, you know what I mean, go into the shading. Is it shading, not sculpting? Shading tab over here, and you could turn the normal down if you'd want. Something like that, maybe. See what that looks. That softens the hair some. Right. So, and what you'd want to do once you place your hair cards and you have a texture sheet and stuff laid out, you'd want to go through and you'd want to just kind of, sorry, I'm just trying to shake this a little bit. And like I said, you'd want to add more loop cuts and things of that nature. And give your hair a little bit more volume to it if you want. It's totally up to you. But yeah, anyways, like I said, once you got everything laid out and stuff like that, and if you're not liking um, how you have your hair cards and or I mean the textures on them, it's not good to use. I mean, you could technically, but I like to have a different hair card, not for each strand or nothing like that, but for different groups of the hair, right? So we could use the same one for the side here, but maybe we'd want to use something different for the back over here, right? So it's good to have, you know, 3 or 4 different variations, and it's good to have a couple different flyaways, right? So if it was me, I would make one that had maybe just 1 strand on it. Then I'd make another one that had maybe 2 strands on it, and then this one would be okay. And then we create those flyaways that you see in hairs, you know, with other geometry, and add them to it, and it just makes the hair look more realistic, right? So from the side view, though, this looks pretty good. Besides the issue that we're having with the clipping, this clipping down here doesn't look very well. And like I said, this stuff wasn't rendered out with very high samples inside of cycles. So as I said before in the previous last video, I would render this out with probably like 1,000 to 1,200 samples. So we can go back into look dev mode and save this. We could also, let's see here. I have, oh yeah, this by the way is the keyboard thingy that I'm using. Anyways, let me open this program here. It's called Materialize. If it's working. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So this is called Materialize. Now this is a program that allows you to make normal maps and stuff from images. Right? So you could it's got settings and all kinds of good stuff in here. Let me go ahead and find my alpha textures that I'm using. I don't remember if it was drag and drop. So they accept BMPs, JPEGs, PNGs. Where you could save it, you could save the property, you clear the textures out, post process, show full material. So it's got all kinds of different settings that you could use for this, right? So and then it tells you the controls here. Zoom in and out with your mouse wheel, middle mouse, and left button. Okay. So you got your right mouse button, middle mouse button pans. Let's see the settings. Max, Maya. This was actually used for a couple of big games too. I forget the names. You can hide the GUIs, show the GUI, make suggestion. You make them suggestion. Um, oops. All right, so we'll do number 4 and select it. You change your colors of the lights, tiling, metallic, smoothness, all that kind of good stuff. Got bloom, all that good stuff. You can change the backgrounds. And all that cool, good looking stuff. That's pretty, it's even got parallax displacement and all that good stuff. I don't remember if that was on anything. So we could do a plane, cube, right? Cylinder. Let's see, sphere. No, cylinder probably. Probably be better. I'm not sure. You could adjust the alignments, um, all that good stuff. So press P. All the same. Mat. Let's preview this. Preview this. There we go. Clear this. Clear that. What's up with that? So we could change the contrast here for the image. Make it more lighter. Find a bias, keep the color, saturation. We can remove the shadows, right? Shadow mask. We can remove the light. All right. Preview. All right. Open. Process. Ah, I thought it had post-process on there. That bloom though. Anyways, let's turn that off so we can get a better look at this stuff. And you could also add like the red channel for the metallic and all that good stuff in here. Original diffuse. Cracks. Funky. We could do funky. Let's show the full material here. Let's see. How do we? Dun, dun, dun. Light funky. It's super, super bright. Oops. I didn't want to do that. Oh my gosh. Clear, clear. Creates. Yes, yes. Set as height map. Okay. Let's create a normal map now. Angular intensity. Do anything? Ooh, there we go. Are you indenting on things that I don't want to be indented? So we're going to do this crisp. That might be a little bit too intense.
tone that intensity down, the amount down just a tad bit. Maybe turn it up a little tiny bit so we could get a little bit more detail. In there. And turn the amount just a tad bit up. But I'm not sure what's up with all this stuff here. So turn the intensity up, but that's not good. Something that, and we'll turn the amount. All right, shape recognition, rotation, spread, and bias, huh? All right, so we'll set this as normal map. Preview. So, what do I feel like that needs to be inverted? That's fine. So we'll create a metallic map. Let's see, metallic reveal slider. Let's show full material again. See what we got here. And let's create an AO map. Pixel depth. Something like that. Set as AO. And then we could just go to show full materials and go plane. That light intensity is too freaking much. Right, and so you could put like the height map in the red channel and then turn around and put the metallic in the green channel and then turn around and put the AO in the blue channel
so on and so forth, and then save it. Let's see, we could flip the Y on this. You might think that's better. I feel that's what needed to happen. And let's see, save project. You need to save it here. What is this save property map? Oh, yeah. So that's all you got to do for this. This program's called Materialize. So it's a pretty cool program. If say you have a image texture or whatever that you have already, and you're needing some normal maps and things of that nature, it's pretty awesome and it's free. So I suggest checking out Materialize. It's pretty cool. So we just got, you know what I mean, a height map, a diffuse map, normal map, metallic, smoothness, edge map, AO map. Now, like I said, I didn't spend very much time with this or whatever, and I haven't played with this program too much. So I I would, if this was me, I mean, I wouldn't use this for my final stuff or nothing like that, but you could get some pretty good results and things that you need that you didn't have before that you could add to your textures. So, and you could also do the stuff for your game textures, right? So you'd want to have your diffuse map, and then in the other color channels, you could hide your AO and your metallic and your roughness map in there, right? So you could do AO, blue, whatever. And then you take it in like programs like Unreal Engine or Unity or whatever, and you just plug those channels into your shader, and there you go. And then you get less draw calls. So this program's pretty cool, pretty awesome, pretty excited about it. And hopefully I'll be able to use it to help out with some things in the future. And like I said, it could probably help on things like these um, hair cards and things of that nature. But like I said, this isn't a final result. I just wanted to show you guys and hopefully help you guys out on how to achieve this look. Let's see. And the shader that I used before, like I said, is right here. Let me full screen this here so you guys can see that. So it's a texture coordinate node coming from the normal to a vector transform. Clicked on the normal object to camera, texture mapping node with the X and Y set to 1 and the scale set to 2 on X and Y. And then we got the normal map texture, which I told you was this. You do a simple Google search for a normal matte cap texture or whatever, and this should pop up. I would try to upload this to like my Google Drive or something so you guys could get this. And then it's hooked up to an emission shader, right? And then you just go ahead and connect it into your surface, your material output surface, and you just go into your camera view. And like I said, I personally I would choose my camera and I would set this in the camera settings to ortho, right? And then I'd render it out in ortho mode. And so that's what the normal looks like. So I'd render out the normal as well. So just remember that you guys switch back and forth, right? So this is the shader for to make our alpha mask, right? So you want to make sure that you're rendering this out with transparency. So in your settings, you'll want to go down to film and click on transparent. So you render transparency. And then when you get ready to render out your normal map, this is the normal map cap basically, and you can see it does work, and it works very well. You render that guy out there, and render it transparency 2, and then you could go ahead and you'll be able to come and if where are we at shading, and I got over here, let me find it real quick, give me just 1 second. It is right here, and where is the texture at? So you could go ahead and take this in Photoshop. Oops. Like I said, and you got rendered out textures. That's with transparency. You just make a black background and you add your textures in there and scale them down. I would also suggest, if you didn't do it like mine, let me open up GIMP and show you guys a little bit what I'm talking about. You use GIMP, Photoshop, Krita, PaintStorm Studio, whatever suits your boats. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's not what I wanted to open. So we got this one. We got a few of them actually, so I could open up a few of these guys here. Show you what I'm talking about. All right, so you just want to select everything, and you just copy them, and we'll come back over here, and we'll create a new layer, and we'll just fill this guy with black, and then we'll just go ahead and paste into a new layer, Oh, oops, cancel. And then all you'd want to do is bring down the size of this guy here. And we'll set him in the corner. And which one was that one? Was it this one? Yes. So we'll go ahead and close this out. Discard changes. And then we will select this one. And you should be able to Control C. And then just come over here and press Control V. And we will almost crash GIMP, I guess. We can bring this guy over here, scale it down some. And press enter. And then let's see, that was the one that I just did. We'll discard changes. That is a normal texture. We don't want that. Press Control A, Control C to copy it to your clipboard. Press Control V and paste it into a new layer. And then we'll just go ahead and grab this guy, scale it down. We could add it over here. And let's see, we'll close this. Then we could add this guy. Paste it right here. Create a new layer. And then bring it over here and we'll scale it down. And press enter. And there you go. Now we got some alpha textures here. And it's all on one texture sheet. And it's all on one texture sheet, and then you'll just save this texture sheet out. You know, this is 4096 texture sheet, so it's pretty big. But like I said, it's only one image, and then all you'll do is you'll just map your UVs to this. Now, see, this is why I was saying right here that we should have made the top hairs look like the bottom hairs here. That way, you know what I'm saying, it'd look better. You could go ahead and select a brush and go ahead and clean that up if you'd like, but this is just an example. I'm not going to do that right now. And then you would turn around, and in turn, you will have a texture sheet like this, to where you'll have different ones that you can map your UVs to. And let's see, I hope that helps. And as far as the normals go, you could go ahead and do the same thing with the normals. You'd probably want to drag the normal images in there also, and scale them at the same time as you scale the other one. That way you are scaling them both to the same height, and so on and so forth. So I hope this helps, guys. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I'll give it a day or two, and then I will come back to this video, and I will go ahead and delete some of the scenes and clips or whatever that I think I'm just rambling on and talking too much, to try to cut this video down a little bit more, so you guys don't have to sit here for 2 or 3 hours or however long I've been streaming. But I do think that is it. So if you guys have any questions on this stuff, just go ahead and ask me in the comments or whatever, and I will go ahead and try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you next time.